Hey everybody, Retro Chow here. We recently just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much for the support. The rate of growth has been absolutely unreal. I started making these videos because, well, there wasn't much content out there focusing on deep diving into No I'm Not a Human and the characters and the lore in the game. I thought it would be fun just to do it myself, so I could deep dive into the game and exercise my creative writing. I really want my videos to be watchable, as well as listenable, so I try to turn each video into a story, as well as a lore analysis, to the best of my ability. I'm glad you all have been liking the videos so far, and there's much more to come. I want to branch out, make videos about other games too in the future. So, if anyone has any suggestions, leave some in the comments below. I read pretty much all of them. Without further ado, here's one of my most requested videos. Story of the Immortal Man, Yakob. The Immortal Man shows up to our door, and no, I'm not a human. The encounter is random and rare. Well, rarer than most other encounters from my experience. There's a knock at the door. It's heavy. It echoes throughout the hall with an eerie, hollow sound. We look through the peephole. Hey. The man at the door greets us. He's normal? Well, at least compared to the others we meet, he's one of the most normal looking ones we can encounter. His black hair is disheveled. The bags under his eyes are deep. There is a blue sweater with a piece of fabric sewn into the chest of the shirt. Stubble lines his face. As a girl in a poncho with purple hair been by here. We don't have anyone like that in here, we respond. He pauses slightly. She's my daughter. I haven't been able to find her since all this shit started. We were supposed to leave this place. Then that abnormal heat wave hit. I passed out, and when I woke up, no one was home. No note, no trace. My daughter had just vanished. The man's looking for his daughter. We should help him. Where do you want to go? We ask. Somewhere FEMA can't reach us. Far away from here, basically. See, they're kind of looking for me because I know too much about them. Maybe those bastards took my daughter, maybe not. If they did, they won't touch her. It's me that they want. Just let me crash here for a couple days until FEMA leaves the area, then I'll move on and keep looking for my daughter. Hell, I'll even tell you everything. I know exactly where the visitors came from. Oh? Many people have their theories about the visitors, but this man claims he truly knows their origin. He could be bluffing to convince us to let him in. Or he could be right. And with his mind and his memories, he truly does know the origin of those things. Or he's completely delusional. We decide to take our chances. We let him in. Thanks. There aren't many people left today who actually hear folks out. People like you are the ones who will make it through this nightmare. Because you and I, we're immortal. And with that, he enters. We're immortal? Who exactly did we let into our house? Let's just hope he's not completely insane. The next morning, we see him in the office area. He sits hunched over, on top of the bookshelf next to the fan. Very odd place to sit. This spot is exclusively his, as none of the other possible guests can sit in this spot. We greet him. Man, I'm just dying for a drink, he says. What did you mean when you said we're immortal? Well, you can shoot yourself in the head and see for yourself if you want. but I'd recommend against doing that if I were you. Of course, we're not immortal in the way that you're thinking. After death, we reincarnate and live again, and we die once more, and the cycle of rebirth continues on. I know how that sounds, but if you'd seen what I've seen, you'd understand. Maybe the visitors were once human, then reborn. I can't say for sure. I don't know how this shit works. I'm certain nature keeps plenty of secrets from us. But I'll find my daughter one day. I'm not sure if I'll do it in this life or the next. But I will. Because we never truly die. His definition of immortality doesn't seem to mean literally being immortal. It's based on reincarnation. It's not too far-fetched. We decide to test him. We ask to take his photo. God forbid you show this to anyone in FEMA, he says while scowling at us. His outline is a purple color. The photo is covered in an ominous red pattern, a sign that, according to the TV, could mean that he's a visitor. You ever hear of vampires? He asks us. They don't show up in photos, only move at night. And they're immortal. With that, our conversation for that day ends. He's clearly paranoid of FEMA. It isn't hard to understand his standoff demeanor towards them. They are very sketchy to say the least. The vampire remark was a bit odd. Maybe he's just poking fun at himself. He seems to be aware of how eccentric his immortality statements make him seem. Could also be a reference to the visitors, coming in at night to her home, knocking on the door and waiting for her invitation. Just like a vampire would. Maybe he's a visitor. The next day we greet him. Why is FEMA looking for you? I was in the epicenter of the shitstorm when everything went down. An area where those things started crawling out. You ever hear those stupid urban legends about demons on the outskirts of town? Never mind. Nobody remembers shit like that now. Turns out they weren't just rumors. And FEMA knew about it all along. He claimed there wasn't anything supernatural going on, and now everyone's burnt to a crisp, while monsters from the underground are killing off all the survivors. Basically, FEMA realized they screwed up big time. Now they're scrambling to cover up their incompetence. I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. FEMA knew all along, according to him. The news said they crawled up from the underground, and he corroborates the same information. FEMA isn't trying to save the world from this overwhelming threat. They're trying to cover it up. But that still doesn't answer what they are, or why they showed up in the first place. We decide to test him. We asked to see his teeth. Alright, he says reluctantly. He shows us his teeth. Normal. Haven't had much chance to brush them past few weeks. Lucky me. We can pull the gun on him or leave him alone. Pulling the gun on him doesn't reveal any new information. With that, we head to bed as our day comes to an end. And the night begins again. In the morning, we once again start our conversation. How did you survive? We ask. Did you forget? I'm immortal, he says jokingly. I don't know. Still ask myself that all the time. Maybe luck. Maybe some higher powers looking out for me. God, or whatever you want to call it. Could be I'm already dead. I've been reincarnated into this form. I'm not sure. Good question. Shame I don't have a gun. I'd ask you the same. Too bad all you got is beer. If I had a keg, I'd brew us up a damn good batch. Already dead, huh? Interesting. We test him. We check his ears. Don't you think these checks are kind of stupid? He shows us his ears. While we examine him, a bug crawls out quickly and scuttles away. A sign that he's a visitor. Here's a secret. Wax in someone's ears? Totally normal. That wasn't just wax. We pull our weapon on him. Go on. Pull the trigger if you trust that box of lies, but I won't forget it. Mark my words, I'll be back, and I'll snap your neck. Normally, I'd end him here and now, but his story isn't over yet. We spare him. I hope you're just as pushy with those FEMA goons. Unlike the visitors, they don't pretend to be human. They're just assholes. Save your bullets. I guarantee you'll burn through more rounds on those bastards than you would on visitors. Our conversation ends. His hatred towards FEMA's on full display. I can't blame him after what he claims he saw and went through. But we still don't have the answers we want. We have to continue to pry into him the next day. We speak to the mysterious man again the next morning. What else do you know? I know the whole organizational structure of FEMA inside and out. Who answers to whom, who does what, who's screwing who, all of it. Interesting. How could he know all this information? Maybe he worked for FEMA? All those bastards knew everything about the visitors. Knew how dangerous they were. And they still let them into the city. Because not one of them gave a shit about our safety. They were just laundering government money. Anyone who witnessed the screw became a victim too. The organization didn't want anyone else to know. And this was all going down even before the quarantine zones. I barely got away. Want a tidbit of top secret info? Well, it's all FEMA's fault. Everything they say on the TV, total bullshit. If there's anything out there worse than the visitors, it's FEMA themselves. He's not telling us exactly how he knows all this information. Sure, he did live nearby the outskirts where this whole thing originally started, but how does he know so much about the inner workings of FEMA? We don't get to really pry into the specifics, but there's enough information to speculate. We head to bed for the night. We once again speak to the Immortal Man. Where do the visitors come from? From the outskirts of town. Yeah, I know the quarantine zones are far from there, but I'm certain. I'm not superstitious, but they're the same demons people were talking about 2 years back. I don't know how they got into the city, but I do know who let them in. It was FEMA. The visitors aren't aliens, like a lot of people think. They're living creatures, not unlike you or me. And they're just as native to this planet as we are. I can't stay here any longer. I need to find my daughter. Thank you, Immortal One. And with that, the Immortal Man's stay with us comes to an end. He claims the visitors are native to our planet. They come from our soil, and they were let in by FEMA, either through negligence or on purpose. And now they rule the night. FEMA struggles to keep grasp of the situation they created. Humanity's paying the price. There are questions unanswered, information redacted and unknown. The Immortal Man repeats his words without revealing much about himself at all, other than the search for his daughter. Could he have a larger role to play? Only time will tell, if we even have any left. The Immortal Man is one of the most interesting characters in the world of No, I'm Not a Human. I believe the role he plays in the main story is much larger than what we see of him in game. His connections with FEMA are serious. I personally don't believe that he just happened to live nearby when everything went down. From what I can piece together, I personally believe he had a direct role in this catastrophe, and quite possibly even worked inside of the FEMA organization itself. His mentions of knowing the inner workings lead me to believe that he could have been a FEMA agent, maybe even a high-ranking one at that. They're looking for him. I doubt it's just because he lived nearby the original spot where the visitors came from. With the information he claims to know about the entire structure and the hierarchy of FEMA, he definitely could be a former high-ranking agent. Just a normal agent wouldn't know the internal working as well as he claims. Or maybe he could have been a journalist. As a journalist, he might have been doing an internal investigation on the organization to expose the entire operation to the world at large, and in doing so, got caught up in the middle of the initial incident. This is all just my theory on how he could have had all this information. As to the question of whether or not he is truly immortal, I believe it to not be in a literal sense, as I said earlier. He believes reincarnation to be immortality. One thing is for certain. He is a visitor. The Immortal Man, as of now, is always a 100% visitor. As I've stated in older videos, my belief is that every visitor was once human and had passed due to the sun or to the hands of another visitor. Maybe that's why he speaks of reincarnation so much. Subconsciously, he knows he's a visitor and has been reincarnated as one after fleeing the original site. In a previous conversation, he says, "Could be I'm already dead, and I've been reincarnated into this form." It not only adds more credence to my theory about him subconsciously knowing he's a visitor, but also helps further my theory that visitors are people who once were normal but died at the hands of another visitor or met their end due to the sun's inescapable wrath. This could be why, despite being in the epicenter of the entire catastrophe, he remains unharmed and alive when he shows up to our doorstep. As for his daughter, where she could be is currently unknown. Yakob isn't just in No, I'm Not a Human. He and his daughter both appear as main characters in the upcoming game Lost in the Roots. Lost in the Roots is a point-and-click adventure game similar to Frambeau, created by the same developers of No, I'm Not a Human. In the playtest, you play as Trisha, a girl in a poncho with purple hair, the same girl Yakob asks about when we first meet him. She seems to have no memory of the events leading up to the start of the game. Yakob is seen injecting her with some sort of medication. He's keeping her in a room in what we can assume is his house. The reason why is unknown. It's extremely suspicious to say the least. After getting up and exploring, you can find a newspaper article mentioning FEMA and demons. Could this be the same demons that Yakob mentions when speaking with us in No, I'm Not a Human? Rumors or a rise from hell, the headline reads. FEMA established a security perimeter around Blacksmith County. Legends of forest demons in the remote Blacksmith County are going viral on paranormal threads. More and more witnesses claim to have seen Bigfoot and other supernatural creatures in nearby forests. Following the events of October 10th, the government agency FEMA has initiated a mass evacuation of the county's residents. All private businesses in Blacksmith have suspended operations. FEMA officials are not disclosing the cause of the widespread panic and are actively denying any involvement of supernatural forces. Witnesses to the events of October 10th only vaguely recall what happened that day, aside from the evacuation itself. This corroborates what Yakob told us. People from the outskirts of town seeing demons and such. Him having this article is significant. There's another character we meet during the playtest with a captured creature in a truck. Her outfit isn't the standard FEMA uniform. It's more of a cold green color. We never get confirmation of who she is, but it's clear she's working with him. If she does work with FEMA, that would prove my theory earlier, at least partially, correct. Yakob was working with them in one fashion or another. We still don't know what his role is exactly. Maybe he's the one who wrote the article. Maybe the strange woman is the whistleblower. It's uncertain. This world is strange. Its people even stranger. Only time will tell. Hello again, everyone, and Happy New Year's. This video took a little while longer to make, so I apologize for the huge delay. It's been an eventful time to say the least. I hope everyone has had a great start to the new year. As for what's next for me, I really want to make a video on Lost in the Roots and go further in depth on the playtest. I have a feeling it's going to be extremely important to the No I'm Not a Human lore, and I'm excited to see where they take it. I didn't want to mention the details of the playtest too much here, as I'm saving that for its own video. I also didn't mention the timeline. I am going to assume that Lost in the Roots takes place before No I'm Not a Human, because earlier in Yakob's dialogue with us, he mentions rumors from years before when talking about the demons from the outskirts of town. There's not a specific date set that I could find at the moment for when Lost in the Roots takes place, or even when that article in that game was written. That's unknown for the moment, but considering the information we do have, I would assume it happened at least a little bit before No I'm Not a Human, and maybe something will happen during the events of Lost in the Roots that leads to him getting separated from Trisha, but we'll see. It's all just speculation right now, but I am very, very excited for when that game fully comes out. But expect a video really soon on the playtest, because there's a lot to unpack in it. It's very, very interesting. It has a lot of lore implications already, so that's going to be fun. I don't see many people talking about it at the moment, so this has been Retro Chow, and thanks for watching.